What's poppin', people? Welcome to the Bella Grind Podcast, a place in a space where I like to say it is go time. That means we go after our goals, we go after our dreams, but most importantly, we go after the bag. It is also a place in a space where we like to elevate the voices of Black women. And let me just say, I have had some phenomenal women on my couch. Tonight, one of those phenomenal women is guess who? It's me. I'll be hosting myself tonight. I want to share with you all some of the bloopers. I like to call them bloopers, but I also like to call them fail forwards because I have successfully recorded 15 studio podcasts. And I think I have done about 10 IG lives. And with each one of those, I have learned something new. Right. And the goal for me every day is to learn three new things. And in many of my car confessions or my car, I forget what we call them. My friends are always picking on me about sitting in the car and talking to you all. But when I'm in the car and I'm talking to you all, you'll hear me often say, make sure you conquer the day and make sure that you learn three new things. And so with this podcast journey, I have learned so much, like the way that I have enriched myself. Is really invaluable. You can't put a value on it. And so for anybody who might be watching me and who might be considering starting a podcast, I want to share with you some of the lessons that I've learned along the way, and hopefully it will help you. Now I'll be sharing some of my footage from my YouTube channel, which is where all of my podcasts live. You may check me out on not only YouTube, but if you like to listen to your podcast, all of the audio is on all of the streaming platforms. Wherever you like to listen to your tunes, you can also listen to the podcast. But mostly if you want to view the podcast, then you can watch it on YouTube. And so I'm going to be taking you all through my YouTube channel so that you can see some of the videos that I would like to highlight where I had some fail forwards. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now I'm going to share a tip before I share each video so that you know what the lesson is before we view the video. And the first tip is lighting. Okay. I'm going to show you my very first podcast where the production was good because it was my first space, and we had to grow into what the production is now, which is what you see behind me. But when I started off, it didn't match the brand so much. And part of that too is the lighting. I got a lot of feedback about, wow, this beautiful black wall behind you is amazing with the stripes and all of that. The darkness could bring down the mood. So I needed to add some uplighting. But let me show you the very first podcast that I did where I learned this lesson about lighting. So let me go. And you all kind of bear with me. I'm learning something new right now. I'm actually driving this production all by myself for the very first time. All right, this one is Dreaming with Elandis. And I want you to look at the lighting. And the logo, look at that logo. The logo even started off very dark, right? And so I needed to pay attention to the energy that comes with dark lighting and images. I was cute though, look at me. Y'all, I was so scared. So look at the wall behind me.
What's poppin', people, and welcome to the first Bella Grind podcast where it's go time.
Go, Jan.
I'm so excited to be here today for my first podcast.
That's my cousin Elandis. She has been phenomenal.
The bag, that's the money. Go get your dreams, go get your goals. And I'm so excited to have Elandis Miller here with me today. She is the owner of
Hey, cousin.
She is the
I love her, and I'm so appreciative of her. You see in the background how there is no uplighting and it's just very, very dark. If you are looking to start a podcast, don't do that. Make sure that you have some quality uplighting behind you. Number one, it helps to bring out the beautiful, for me anyway, it helped to bring out the beautiful melanin, my brown skin, and it didn't bring it down so much. And then you don't have that fading going on, like my black hair against the black wall, and then my cousin's black hair against the black wall. The good thing is, you see how she's wearing all black, but she's sitting in the yellow or the gold chair. And so that chair sort of acted as a contrast so that she didn't blend into that wall. But if she was sitting on a darker piece of furniture, like a black chair or in a dark blue chair, then she too would have faded into the wall. So, tip one, always make sure that you have quality lighting. All right, let's jump into the next one, which is tip two. And tip two is make sure that your sound is quality. And I learned that with episode 10. But here's why episode 10 was a little unique, because we actually shot it at my home. And so I was excited. All of my girlfriends had come over. And I was just so excited to just, be around them and feel their energy. But we didn't really do a test shoot like I'm used to as far as sound. And so you'll see that as soon as the podcast starts, like I sound extremely loud. And if you all watch the podcast, I'm pretty sure you had to turn your device down so that I was not screaming in your ears. So let's take a look at episode 10, because I want you all to be able to see that piece. All right, let me jump over to episode 10 so that you all can hear. Trust me, you won't have a hard time hearing me because I was so loud. Okay, here we go. I'm almost embarrassed to share, but I'm going to share. Okay, let's see. Here we go. But you see, I got that logo together.
What's poppin', people? Welcome to the Bella Grind Podcast. This is a place and a space where we like to elevate the voices of Black women. It's also a place where we like to say it's go time. That means go after your dreams, go after your goals, and most importantly, go after the bag. Today's episode is extra, extra special for me because I have a group of my favorite ladies in the room. These are my best.
So I'm pretty sure you all can see what I'm saying when I say that I was extremely loud because the volume was up. So I had on lapel mics and the lapel mic was probably, too close to my mouth, which is why it sounds like my voice is like projecting very loudly. So what I needed to do was adjust the lapel mic so that when it picked up the sound, it did not sound like I was screaming at you all, because the goal was not to scream at you. Even when I watched it back, I was like, oh my God, I sound like I am screaming, but it is because my lapel mic was so close to my mouth. So make sure that when you are testing your sound, that your sound is right. And you want to try to make sure you think about what it will sound like on every device, a laptop, on a cell phone, on a tablet, all of that. You want to make sure that it's not too loud, and you want to make sure that it is not too low. So number one was lighting. Number two is sound. Both of those have to be quality in order for you to keep engagement. Otherwise, people will check out. Okay. All right. Tip number 3. I really could go back to this one, the one that I just showed, but really this applied for me in every one of them that I did. And that is vanity it goes out of the window, kind of goes out of the window. For me, I started off like very concerned about what I look like. And, I have to present a certain way so that people will want to to look at me and watch me and hear what I have to say. And, every hair had to be in place and just all the things. I learned very quickly that vanity goes out of the window. What's most important is the content that you're putting forward, and especially with the podcast and the type of podcast that I have where I have guests on. What's most important is the conversation organic? Um, are we sharing some good information with people that they can learn from? Or is it something that they can engage with? Is it something that resonates with them? My platform is for Black women. So for me, or it's for Black women, and for those, anybody, doesn't matter what race. If you love a Black woman, then this platform is for you as well. And so what's most important to me is that when you are watching my content, then you are learning about Black women. You're learning about our plight. You're learning about our victories. You're learning about those things that we need help with and how to stand in the gap for us. You're just learning everything about a Black woman and who and what we are, in the essence of who we are. That's what's most important, not if my hair is out of place. Like the one I just showed you. I really beat myself up over this one. And then I'm going to show you another one as well, where I was really beating myself up, and my friends, they kind of put me in check. Like, girl, that doesn't matter. As long as the energy was good, you were having fun, and the content was great. That's what matters. And so I had to let it go. Vanity goes out of the window. Now, you do want to look presentable. Don't get on the camera looking a hot mess. Like tonight, I threw this hat on because I know it's a not so good hair day. So I want to be presentable, but what color hat, and if my hair is like I was like, just get on and share with the people what the bloopers are. I've made a few mistakes even talking with you all tonight, like tripping over words and all of that. Who cares? As long as you all are learning what the tips are for if you are thinking about starting a podcast, or just if you struggle with being a perfectionist and you need to know that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Vanity can go out of the window sometime. So let me show you 2 episodes where I struggled. Like I said, this one was one. As soon as it came on, the hair. Ooh, that's not a good. See, I'm
started out in
it.
education together.
But I was
then I have
just so concerned
Lisa,
about what the hair.
Lisa and I have been together since the boys were born.
The hair doesn't
so
matter.
So we're at about 18.
Or where's the other one, y'all? I had gotten dressed. I had put on all of my paraphernalia because during the month of February, I was highlighting sorors. Had put on all of my paraphernalia, and then I was interviewing who I like to call my baby, my daughter, Tasha. And if you look at my pants, you'll see that I have on my jeans that I just kind of wear when I'm kicking around the house. And believe it or not, there is a paint stain when I was painting one day on my pants. I forgot to change them. I just, was trying to, get out of the door and make sure you have on the paraphernalia up top. And then maybe your bottom won't show. And so whatever. When I look back at this podcast, I almost did not publish it because I was like, oh my God, there's a stain. There's the paint stain. And I have on my favorite jeans that I sort of kick around the house in. And I forgot to change my jeans and put on some of my more stylish jeans. What would that have said about me if I would have chunked a full podcast with someone who is so utterly important to me? I call her my first daughter. She has such a magnificent story of resilience. That's what was most important, was that if you watched this podcast, that you walked away understanding what resilience looks like and what it feels like. Because my baby has gone through so much and she beat every single odd that was against her. So what would it look like, me trying to chunk, a whole podcast because I saw the paint stain on the side of my pants? I wonder if you all even saw it prior to now. Probably didn't. But like I said, vanity goes out of the window. Make sure that the content is quality. All right. My fourth tip. Let's see. I have my notes here. This one is very important. You've heard me say this a lot if you follow me on Instagram, and excuse me, if you have been watching the podcast. My fourth tip is to simply do it scared. Every single podcast, excuse me, that I've done, believe it or not, I was doing it scared. In the very beginning, I was like scared might be an understatement. And I was having to literally force myself to get on camera, and to just show up as simply Jan, right? Just let my personality be what it's going to be, and just to get comfortable on the couch with my guests. So my first two podcasts, I was the most scared. Now, as time went on, I noticed that I wasn't as scared, but it really depends on the guest too. Because the last one I did, my 15th episode with Christy Sims, scared might be an understatement. And when you go back and watch the episode, you'll hear how my voice was sort of shaking as I was interviewing her. But it's not that I was scared of Christy, but more so, I think it's the reverence that I have for her as a person. Um, and yeah, just as a person, her story. But not only her story, I really feel like she is just more than just her story up to this point. Um, I feel like she's a light, right? I know she is for me. Like I draw so much inspiration from Christy, and to have her sitting next to me kind of felt surreal. Um, she's an international speaker, and I really like just stepped out on faith to ask her to sit on the couch with me. And so when she said yes, um, y'all, I danced a jig, but then I was scared the whole week leading up to that interview. And not to say that I don't revere all of the women, every single woman that sat next to me. Um, you've heard me say it before. I feel like all of them are better than me. That's why I asked them to come and sit with me, because they each one of them inspire me in some way, and they're all ages. Some of them are even younger than me, but I draw inspiration from them. But for Christy, it was special for me, because I have just learned so much from her, and simply by watching her. And so it meant a lot to me that she actually was willing to come and sit down and share with us. But y'all, I was scared, like very, very scared, but I made it through. And she gave me some good feedback. And then afterwards, she was teaching me all kinds of stuff about Instagram. So it ended up being a learning opportunity in two ways for me. So yeah, I learned emotional intelligence from her, but then I learned some really good IG strategies. So I'm glad that I didn't give into the fear and let it take over me or consume me, because the interview might not have been as quality. Um, and it could have thrown the energy off, and then I wouldn't have got those extra tips that I got when we turned the cameras off. So let me go to those. So I'm going to take you to um, my second podcast, because I showed you the first one with Elandis where the lighting was not so good and I was scared. I was cute, but I was scared. But let me take you to the second one with my cousin Mimi. Mimi is another one. So Mimi is my cousin. She is beautiful. She's funny, but she's real, right? But for some reason, and she's probably going to be like, girl, but for some reason, I got scared about her title or her status, because my cousin is an international model. Like she has graced the pages of Vogue, right? And she's coming to sit on the Bella Grind podcast with her. At the time, I was thinking her little old cousin who's just stepping out here and trying to do something new. And she was like, yeah, she flew in, y'all, from Texas. And she came and she did the interview with me. And you'll know that I'm scared because if you watch that interview, I forgot to properly introduce her. I completely, like, I was just all over the place. And I think I even asked her if she wanted to share some things about herself. And she was like, no, we can just get straight into it. But y'all, I needed to say that she is an international model. Like I said, she has done so many reputable campaigns, from Victoria's Secrets to, like I said, being featured in Vogue magazine. But I think the biggest thing that I honor about her is the fact that she is a mother. And she takes that very seriously. And then she is also a music artist. Is that how you say that? I know she's a singer and a songwriter. So she's an artist, and she stepped out on faith to explore that gift. So that's what I respect about Mimi so much. But I was so extremely scared when I was interviewing her. So let me take you to both of those. We'll start with Mimi first. Let me pull it up because that's me being worried about vanity a little bit, because if I stop the video in the wrong place, you catch some funny faces. So let me pull it up first and then I will share with you all. Here we go. So here's Mimi. Let me go here. Jan, you better work this StreamYard for the first time. Believing in yourself and doing it scared. All right, here's Mimi. So I'm going to press play on her. Y'all see that that logo in this format was not the move. But you'll see I corrected it if you watch the other.
Welcome to the Bella Grind podcast, where it is go time. This is a space for us to inspire women to go after everything they deserve. Go after your dreams, go after your goals, and go after
y'all see that background was still dark.
Today I have with me the lovely Mimi Roche.
I tried to add one light back there.
Supermodel, songwriter, and musician.
Hey,
I'm
cousin.
so happy to have you here on the couch with me today.
She is everything.
Thank you so much for coming. Is there anything you want to start off with telling the people about you?
See that? I didn't even introduce her properly.
I have a lot of questions for you today. Let's dig into it. So
and that was all because I was scared.
Your journey.
All because I was scared. I should have stopped and regrouped and said, well, let me tell the people more about you. And then I should have just shared. But because I was scared, I just kind of jumped into the podcast and just talking with her. I fell forward though. But that's what scared looked like. It may not have translated like that to you all, but the truth is I was scared. Y'all see my green screen back here? It's supposed to be better than not having a green screen, but I feel like every time I move, you all can see it. It doesn't matter. Y'all are getting this content and you're learning these tips for when you need to start your podcast, how to do it properly. That's what matters. All right, let's go into the next one where I was scared, and that one is with Christy. I felt like I can hear my voice trembling. I'm going to let you all see it, and you tell me if you can hear it. Let me see. I'm working two screens here, so let me pull it up. Christy, where are you, Christy? She'll probably watch this and say, girl, what are you talking about? Because she's so cool. But I was so nervous. All right, here's Christy. Let me pull her up so you can see. All right, here we go. Let me share. Y'all see I fixed that logo. Oh, look at the production. Now, sis is in the beginning of her podcast. You better hold up that Bella Grind Club. Y'all see how my vernacular
Bella Grind podcast, a place in a space where we elevate the voices of Black women. We also like to say that it's go time.
Can y'all tell my voice is trembling? I think we had done 2 takes by now.
We go after the bag. I have with me a very special guest today, Christy Sims. She is the founder of the Christy Sims Foundation. She is a licensed therapist. She is also an international speaker and an author.
And she sat on my couch.
She is here to talk to us about something that is very important, and it is emotional intelligence. And I cannot wait to jump into this interview because she has a lot of insight that will help all of us. Now, what she's sharing today is not just for Black women. It is for everyone. We can all learn from this podcast today. So I am excited to talk with her. Thank you so much, Christy, for being here and for doing the podcast. When I reached out to her and she said she would do this podcast, you all should have seen the dance that I did.
I danced a real jig,
Christy
y'all.
is international. So I do not take for granted that she is sitting here on my couch.
I do not.
She is willing to talk to me.
Thank you, Christy.
And talk to my audience. So it's.
Could y'all hear my voice trembling? I could hear it trembling. I know I felt it trembling. I was so scared, but I soldiered on and made sure to ask the right questions. I think I didn't care if y'all saw my phone in my hand. I wanted to make sure that I had my notes and my questions in front of me because I did not want to miss anything. So moral of the story is do it scared. Doesn't matter. On the other side of fear is the win. Trust me when I say that. I felt so accomplished after each one of my podcasts. And it just does something for my esteem, to feel like I am walking in my purpose and all of that. But anyway, that's the mushy stuff. Make sure you do it scared. Whatever that thing is that you think that you cannot do, go ahead and do it. Do it scared. My last tip, and it really sort of piggybacks off of what I just said, is to go after everything that you want. I encourage every one of you that are watching me right now to just do the thing. Try a new skill set. And you might find that when you try that new skill set, you actually discover your purpose. That's what happened for me. I tried a new skill set, which was a podcast, and I discovered my purpose. A quick story. September 1st, 2021 was honestly a dark space for me. And I was trying to figure out what the thing is that I needed to do. But I had this overwhelming feeling that I was designed for greater than what I was doing at that time. Right. And I felt like I was being tugged by the God in me, but I did not know what it was. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I made one phone call on one of my hardest days. And I called my cousin Elandis, the one that I did my very first podcast with. And I told her about all the things that I had been thinking about. And God used Elandis to go ahead and launch me out there. Within in that same week, I had a full team. I launched the full Bella Grind brand in 1 month. 1 month. I started September the 23rd, September 1st, dark space, all the way up to September the 22nd. And then I called my cousin. We had that conversation. I started really and truly, I think I filmed my first podcast on October the 23rd, a full month later. And then I launched it a week later on my birthday, October the 29th. So go do that thing. I did not know at the top of 2021 that I would be the product of the Bella Grind, not podcast, not just the podcast, but the Bella Grind brand. And those things that are coming down the pike for me, y'all, when I say it is so overwhelming some days, but I see God all in it, and it has brought me closer to God. It has made me recognize the God in me. Go do the thing. And it's because I see the God in it that I know that it is my purpose. I'm starting to see where everything is aligning. All of the things that I've gone through, the experiences, and I've had both good and bad, and I've been right and I've been wrong, right? All of it was for this moment right here. It was for this, the darkness, the dark times. They were supposed to bring me to here, because now every day I see light, right? Every single day I see the God in what I'm doing. So go do the thing. Go do it. Don't worry about um, what people might be thinking. Um, in my case, what you look like. I have learned to set vanity aside. It's not always about what I'm wearing and what I look like, right? It's about a message. What message are you putting out into the world, right? And then ultimately, what legacy do you want to leave or leave? What legacy do you want to leave? For me, I want that to be Jan elevated Black women to the best of her abilities. She gave them a platform for them to be able to share their stories. Um, she being Jan, remained in a posture of service, right? She kept it real because I am far from perfect. Um, it's almost why I was nervous to start the vlog. By the way, the Simply Jam blog is a thing. You can go to my YouTube channel where all of the podcasts live, and that's where you will see the Simply Jam blog. Um, and now, see, I forgot my what I was saying. But what I do know is that when you walk in your purpose and you sit aside all of the other stuff and you focus on the God and what you have been called to do, then that thing will manifest and you will be successful. Trust me when I say it. Okay. So I hope you all have enjoyed the evening. I'm going to go over my tips one more time. Tip one, make sure you have some really good lighting. Lighting is important. Tip two, make sure your sound is quality. Make sure your sound is quality. Okay. Tip three, throw vanity out of the window. I'm learning to do that every day. Throw your vanity out of the window. Tip four, do it scared. Make sure that you go after the thing and do it scared. And then tip five, uh, is to make sure you go after what it is that you want, but learn a new skill or just try something, try a new skill and watch. I bet you will discover your purpose just by taking that one step. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in to the Bella Grind podcast. I hope that my tips have been very helpful to you. I hope you go back and watch some of the podcast episodes so that you can see more of what I was sharing. Now, for the announcement that I need to make this evening is I have come to the end of season one of the podcast. So I have some other things coming down the pike. And the things are requiring a lot of my time and my focus. And I want to make sure that I'm always putting out the best quality possible to you all. So, with that being said, I am going to push out or launch two more things that God has called me to launch under the Bella Grind brand. And then we're going to come back for season two of the podcast, right? Season two is going to be more engaging. Season two will be off location. We'll have some studio interviews as well, but I want to go sort of on location to some spots and interview some people. Um, I actually see how I'm going to marry the podcast with my blog, the Simply Jan blog. So you'll just get some new content with a new look and certainly more engaging because remember, you have to continue to get better at the thing. Don't just stay in one spot. Make sure you do the research like I have and continue to get better. And so, with that being the case, I'm going to take the time to plan season two so that it is not only fun for me, but that it is fun for you as well. And I'm going to go ahead and do what God is calling me to do and launch those other pieces that need to come out under the Bella Grind brand. So, make sure that you start to tune in every week for the Simply Jam vlog because you'll start to see me there more on the vlog versus in the studio for the podcast. I will come back to the podcast after I have launched all of those things. So just make sure you stay tuned, but I'm not going completely away from you. So check out the blog. You'll be able to keep up with me as I'm on my grind. You'll start to learn a little bit more about me. I'm always interviewing other people, but it's time for you all to kind of learn a little bit about me. And you'll be able to do that through the vlog. So check me out next on the Simply Jan blog. Again, it is on my YouTube channel. So wherever you go, not wherever you go. When you go to my YouTube channel to watch the podcast, that is also where the vlog will live. Okay. So that's where you will go to see the vlogs. I'll make sure that I continue to post to let you know when new vlogs are up. Right now, there are 2 vlogs that are up for you to be able to watch. The first one was when I went to go see the Obamas at the High Museum of Art. Go check that out. And then I have the one where my team got me together for my first hosting gig. So you can check that one out as well. So that's it for me. I'm not going to talk you all to death. Remember, act like a lady if you're a lady. Everybody think like a boss and stay on your beautiful grind. Until next time, peace.